On February 8th, 1587, Mary Queen of Scots is beheaded at Fotheringhay Castle by Queen Elizabeth I. Mary Stuart lived one of the most fascinating and tumultuous lives in the history of European royalty.
But what makes Mary's story so interesting? And why did her cousin have her killed?
She ascended to the Scottish throne in 1542 at the death of her father, James V. She was just 6 days old. At age 5, Mary was betrothed to the Dauphin of France, and her mother sent her to be raised in the French court. At age 15, she and the 14-year-old Dauphin married, and he became King Francis II just a year later. But he died just a year after that, and the teenage Mary returned to Scotland. She then married her cousin Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley. He soon became jealous of Italian courtier David Rizzio, the pregnant Mary's private secretary. Darnley, in fact, had Rizzio murdered in front of Mary. 3 months later, Mary and Darnley's son, James, was born. 8 months after that, Darnley was strangled in his garden. Just 3 months after Darnley's demise, Mary married the chief suspect in Darnley's murder, James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell. Not surprisingly, this caused a bit of a scandal. The Scottish nobles forced Mary to abdicate in favor of her son, James VI, who was barely a year old. She escaped south to England, where her cousin, Elizabeth I, imprisoned her for the next 19 years. This was done in part because Europe's Catholics considered Mary the rightful English queen and plotted to install her in Elizabeth's place. Ultimately, Mary was executed for her alleged role in the Babington Plot, a plan involving a young Catholic named Anthony Babington. Incriminating coded letters between Mary and Babington sealed her fate, and on February 8, 1587, at age 44, Mary Queen of Scots was beheaded. 16 years after her death, her son James VI of Scotland became James I of England, uniting the English and Scottish thrones.
Mrs. Lewis and I visited Scotland's Edinburgh Castle in 2025. It was there that Mary had relocated following the murder of her secretary, David Rizzio. In fact, she gave birth to the future King James VI at the castle. The imposing fortress is located high on a rocky hilltop in the heart of the city, providing Mary with the protection she sought at that tumultuous time. It is definitely a must-visit location in Edinburgh. Here are other events that happened today in history. In 1725, after reigning for 42 years, Russian Emperor Peter the Great dies in St. Petersburg. In 1904, the Russo-Japanese War begins as Japan launches a surprise naval attack against Russian ships. In 1932, iconic American film score composer and conductor John Williams is born in New York City. In 1943, Creed Bratton of the band The Grassroots and the TV sitcom The Office is born in Los Angeles. In 1953, an Arizona judge declares that the state's 1909 school segregation law is unconstitutional. In 1986, 5'7" Anthony Spud Webb beats out Dominique Wilkins to win the NBA Slam Dunk Contest. In 2023, 52 hours after 2 major earthquakes, an 8-year-old boy is rescued from the rubble in Turkey. And now, it's time for our Today in History quiz. Who was the first Negro Leagues baseball star inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame? Josh Gibson, Buck Leonard, Satchel Paige, or Rube Foster? Liked learning about Mary, Queen of Scots? Then you'll love this one about a failed attempt to blow up her son, King James. Tap the screen to keep the story going on Today in History.